back a third time. He said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? It is enough. The hour has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand."
And immediately while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a crowd carrying swords and clubs, and the chief priests and scribes and elders. Now, the betrayer had given him a sign, saying, "The one I kiss is the man. Seize him and lead him away under guard."
And when he came, he went up to him and said, "Rabbi." And he kissed him.
And they laid hands on him and seized him.
And one of those standing nearby drew his sword and struck him in the center of the high priest.
Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? Day after day I was with you, teaching in the temple, but you did not seize me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled.
And the disciples all left him and fled.
And they led Jesus to the high priest, and the chief priests and the elders and the scribes came together.
And Peter had followed at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest. And he was sitting with the guards, warming himself at the fire.
And the high priest and the whole council were seeking testimony against Jesus to put him to death. But they found none.
For many bore false witness against him, but their testimony did not agree. And some stood up and said, "We have heard him say, we will destroy this temple that is built with hands, and in 3 days build another, not made with hands." Yet even about this, their testimony did not agree.
Then the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, "Have you no answer today? What is it that these men testify against you?" But he was silent and made no answer. Again he asked him, "Are you the Christ?"
I am. And you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming in the clouds.
Then the high priest tore his garments and said to them, "What further witnesses do we need? You have heard his blasphemy. What is your decision?"
And they all condemned him as deserving death. And some began to spit on him, and to cover his face, and to strike him, and saying, "Prophesy." And the guards received him with blows.
And as Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came. And seeing Peter, she looked at him and said, "You also are with the Nazarene Jesus." But Peter denied it, saying, "I neither know nor understand what you mean." And he went into the gateway, and immediately the rooster crowed. The servant girl again said to some of the bystanders, "This man was one of them." But again he denied it. After a little while, some of the bystanders again began to say to Peter, "Surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." But he began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, "I do not know this man who before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And he broke down and wept.
And they took Jesus inside the palace. And they put a purple cloak on him. And they fashioned a crown of thorns and forced it on his head. And they saluted him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they began to hit him on the head with reeds. And they spat in his face. And they bowed in homage to him. And they mocked him. And when they were through mocking him, they took the purple cloak off of him, and they put his own clothes back on him.
And they led him out to crucify him.
And they compelled a passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross for him.
And they led him to a place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull.
And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, and he would not take it.
And they crucified him, dividing his garments among them, casting lots to decide what each should take.
And it was the 3rd hour when they crucified him. And the inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews."
And when it was the 6th hour, darkness covered the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice,
Eloi, Eloi! Lama sabachthani! Which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?
And those who were standing nearby said, "Behold, he's calling Elijah."
And someone fetched a sponge and dipped it in sour wine, put it on a reed and gave it to him, saying, "Wait, let us see if